When it comes to digitization, manufacturers aren't exactly known as being the front runners. Why is Cisco so invested in manufacturers in Asia Pacific and Japan?
Manufacturers are absolutely at the forefront of digitization. In fact, if you look at the industrial IoT market, which is about 14 trillion every year, manufacturing makes up over a quarter of that market. And generally, manufacturing drives APJ from an economic perspective. In fact, every US dollar invested in manufacturing yields something like $1.81 in return in terms of the overall GDP of a country.
According to Cisco research, manufacturing is the 10th most likely industry to being disrupted. Are manufacturers really being disrupted?
Manufacturers are absolutely being disrupted, and they're thriving in this era of digital disruption. So whether it's using new technologies like 3D printing or developing new business models, manufacturers are really thriving. And just from a Cisco perspective, we can see many customer examples of thriving in this era of digital disruption. There's two specific examples I'd like to share with you. The first is a global consumer electronics manufacturer based in Japan. And this is a great example because they were well on their way to digitizing all of their factories, but they actually had to stop because they had to look at all of their security policies and compliance policies across all of their factories. And they ended up building a global security policy and then developing their digitization strategy from there. So I think it's a great example of how a customer really implemented digitization in a very thoughtful way. The second example I wanted to share is right here from Korea. This is an example of a global semiconductor manufacturer, and they wanted to really leverage all of the data that was coming from their manufacturing floor. And they used automation to really ensure that their manufacturing processes would be effective and efficient.